Hello dear friends, this is Anthony Ross with The Aging Technology, and today we're going to continue talking about effects of the science on the research of slowing down aging. After I've done a segment, I'm not sure if you watched it or not, it goes like this. If drug to slow down aging is discovered, will it be affordable? And we've contemplated who controls the market and how much would it cost, and will we ever see the drug, and how safe it is and unsafe and so on. So I've received numerous emails, I've received a lot of, by the way, thank you so much, I do appreciate it. And I also have received 3 angry messages, 3 angry emails. 2 emails, one was a text message from Facebook. One doctor was completely disagreeing with me, saying that I'm just anti-medicine and I'm attacking the all medicine and all medical industry, which sometimes I do. I'm not attacking the industry, I'm attacking the approach the industry has taken, and my attitude is that it's all commercialized. He wasn't, for instance, disagreeing when I was saying that it's all about money. Nobody really cares if I'm healthy or not. In fact, if I'm healthy, they will not be able to make money. So, and then the other 2 emails came from scientists, and both of them were referring to the same studies. Apparently, it's just been concluded 10-year studies of the University of Washington with the Bach Institute on studying of slowing down aging, and they have concluded that there are 238 specific genes are responsible for our aging. And if we, by some reason, cut them out, I guess the professional term was if we silence them, then we will be able to prolong the aging. And they also were referring to very promising studies, which so far is done only on a yeast cell, but it's okay, that they've accomplished to prolong the life of a yeast cell up to 60% by manipulating certain gene, by controlling certain gene, or even cutting out certain gene. They were specifically talking about gene LOS1. This specific gene is responsible for a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting master switch. It mimics fasting. It mimics a calorie restriction, which, by the way, with this approach, I completely agree. I consider it very natural, and it is incredibly beneficial, and it's been proven that calorie restriction does prolong life, does make us healthy, and well, simply put, we horribly overeat, all of us. That's how simple it is. So now they've located this gene that is responsible for that. Let's cut it out, let's silence. And this is exactly where I completely disagree with the science and with the whole approach, not only science, the medicine in general. They have approached our body from the model of the corpse. It's like we are some sort of the machine, we have a certain parts, and let's just remove carburetor, let's just remove transmission or ignition if it's faulty, and that's all. Well, we're not. Everything is interconnected. Everything belongs to something else. There is not such a thing as the separate parts in a human body, especially when we talk about genetics. The whole this approach that, well, let's just cut and think later, does not sit well with me. You know, when I was a little child, I was always giving an example that on sword of one of the military leaders of the past, we're talking about centuries past, like a Genghis Khan and so on, there was one called Shamil. He had engraving on his sword, "He who thinks of consequences cannot be considered a brave man." And I was always giving it as an example of a bravery. So that's exactly what it is. If you're sure that you're right, just cut it out and think later. Let's just chop it off and think later over consequences. Does not sit well with me. You have a headache? Let's chop the head off. No, I like my head. Thank you very much. All this medical approach or scientific approach that, oh, we discovered that it's responsible for this, we don't know for what else is responsible, but let's cut it out. No, I disagree with that. I don't know the age of you looking at my video right now, but some elderly people would remember how we were treating strep throat before. Let's just cut out our tonsils. And I remember it almost happened to me. It's almost happened to me. It took decades to realize that our tonsils actually as a very, very important essential part of our immune system. This is one of our first defense mechanisms to protect our body against infection. In fact, when you get the strep throat, this is how our body protects ourselves from all those infections. And back then, what was the approach? Cut it out. It hurts, cut it out. They had a solution, and they were hurting our immune system. The same with appendix. Do you remember that? I still have a scar. Mine got removed. Hold on. Well, it's somewhere out there. Yeah, I have a big scar. Until we realized that appendix also was apparently a part of our immune system. In fact, inflamed appendix usually an indication of something else going on in the body. So now we have a new thing. We've discovered a gene. Let's cut it out because it's responsible for our aging. Well, let's think together. So how long life exists on our planet? Somebody says 2.5 billion years. Somebody says 3.5 billion years. Plus minus billion. Who cares? Okay. Well, but jokes aside, nature was tweaking our genetics for billions, literally for billions of years. Tweaking, perfecting, adjusting, regulating. If we are really the top of the line of nature, if we are really the marvel of our nature, how can it be that something in our body that was designed so carefully for so long now is faulty? How can it be? Especially when we talk about genetics, how can it be? Let's cut some genes out. There is nothing in a body that is responsible only for one thing. Everything is interconnected. You cut one thing, all of a sudden it shows somewhere else, especially when we talk about genetics. So, this is my thinking. Genetic approach to slowing down aging, genetic modification to slow down aging. I disagree. I'm scared. I'm literally scared. How arrogant we are to believe that we know everything, especially about our genetics. 10 years old studies. All right. What is 10 years compared to a history of the development of the evolution? My point is this. You want to slow down aging? Fine. Well, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I teach. That's exactly what our channel is all about. Let's slow down aging naturally. There are many, many ways to do that. We were talking about the calorie restriction. Yes, stop eating so much. Yes, do the exercises. My territory, for instance, yes, adjust your psychology, adjust your belief system in terms of how long we live, how long should we live. It's all social construct. But it's all a natural approach rather than let's go and cut and it's scary, scary, scary. And to a doctor who sent me this angry message saying that I'm attacking the medical industry, well, maybe I do. I really have a problem. when patient comes to a doctor with a back pain and the only possible option out there in the office is cut, surgery, cut, let's cut. We don't like it, cut. It somehow controls our aging, cut. It hurts, cut, 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 cut. Do you really, okay, you tell me, you, somebody who watches this video right now, how many doctors would you know, the doctors, surgeons, who will tell to a patient, you know what, no, you don't need the surgery. In fact, what you have can be easily corrected with a 3 or 4 visits to a chiropractor. Oops! The words that I'm using, natural, chiropractor, prohibited, horrible. They don't even think like this. Very, very, very few real doctors will advise to a patient what we call alternative methods. Most of our approaches, cut, 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 cut. Remember that sword of the Shamil? He who thinks of consequences is not a brave man. Well, they're brave men, and I'm afraid of them. I am afraid of them. This is Anthony Ross with The Aging Technology. As always, please check our channel. You can subscribe, the button is right there, right over there in the corner. Click on it, subscribe. Watch my video of which we're referring to. It's called, if I remember correctly, if drug for slowing down aging is being developed, how much would it cost? You will find it in my channel. I don't remember what it's called. And of course, as always, invite all your friends. Leave us all your comments. If you have some interesting information on slowing down aging, please always send it to me. And let's live longer, happier, and healthier.